All right, this is 2018 patriotic bug out camping trip. It's July 3rd. I bailed right out of work, came up here with my motorcycle. This is straight west from Bishop. There's Birch Creek running over here. McGee Creek is over that way. The buttermilks are down that way. And my tent is that way. So here's the deal. It's just a kind of a bug out from all the pyromaniacs celebrating our escape from British rule. And so it's going to be a little decadent. Like that. You'd be surprised how nice a potato chip tastes out here. And we're tasting beer out here. Our first example, Mission Brewery, Shipwrecked. It's the bomb right now. Here, let's taste it. So this beer is not massive hoppy like you would think an IPA would be. It's got a sort of a malty hoppy bite though. Just a slight hoppy bite. More because of the alcohol, but really it doesn't taste like a malt liquor at all. It's really a smooth beer. Now the reason I'm looking around is because this is cattle country in the summer. I've been up here a few times. I came back to this specific spot because I almost camped here once on a skiing trip. But there's some cattle running around in these trees, and I don't want them anywhere near me. Oh, I hope I don't get a flat tire. The thing about this area is that it's bear country too. I had an audible bear encounter once back here. So the conflict between the cattle and the bear back here is they're both clumsy animals that break branches in the forest, so you don't know what's out there. Okay. Shipwrecked Mission Brewery. It's more than half gone, and I wanted to say there's no like real fruity hint to it. It's just a darn good beer. I mean, it tastes like you're getting beer from a tap, and that's what you want to emulate in a can. This is a brewery from San Diego, California. My only question is, where do they get their water? Dinner's ready. I'm pretty hungry. I wanted to mention a couple things about this alcohol stove I have. What I've found is sometimes the flame shoots off to one side, and it's a little daunting when your arm hair gets burnt off when you stir it. You sort of edge the pot around until the flame goes away from the outside of the pot. So then it's centered however it's burning down there. The other thing is, don't knock that sucker over, because it's just going to be a flamethrower. Lastly, on the stove issue, to put it out, you have to blow it out. And so I kind of have to blow it out from the side, and you have to make sure your food's covered, because all kinds of forest floor debris gets blown up. That's the update on that alcohol stove I've been using. Let's eat dinner. I just finished breaking camp. It was great right here last night. And the creek is over here, Birch Creek. And we're just going to kind of skirt it up in elevation. And what I remember is that there's a big meadow over this way. So I'm going to head this way. It's pretty thick down in the meadows near the creek with small trees like this and shrubbery. So I kind of want to avoid those tight places. The other thing is that, again, there's cattle up here, probably 200 head, just in this sort of square of trees and meadows and greenery. My guess is 30 acres, 40 acres. So it's not that much, and it's pretty tight. So you get these cow tracks all over in these wet areas, and it's all muddy and stuff, so they just rip it up. It's messed up. Alright, this is the kind of thick stuff I don't like. I'm thinking we got a meadow over here. Oh yeah, it's nice. Okay, a great place to come to for a view of which way to go. And now I'm hearing cattle over this way. There's a big meadow somewhere over here. And it's wet. Not bad though. Hey. Here I am at this meadow, the top of it here. My water's over here and it sounds like it's getting farther away. And there's flies from all the cow shit out here. There's a road over here, which I think I'm going to look for because this is just too thick and it goes for 3/4 of a mile maybe. So we're just going to head back to the creek and get the road and get to the base of the taller ridges. This crazy network back here of meadows. And I can see some taller trees back this way. It's kind of a clear shot. Just gonna go with this. And I've crossed the creek, so I'm on the right side now, and the road is over here yet. It's a sweet fragrance here with these roses. Well, here's a great view over here. And we've got camas lilies just about finished. Okay, I'm at a nice perspective of where I'm going, and it's just in this bowl here. And now I'm hearing another stream here. I think it springs back here though. And I have a real simple option, and that's to follow the road up and veer off to the left. But the thing is, I know in that first section there's no water. This is Birch Creek. It's the biggest so far. And the road's just up here. We're looking for a crossing. All right, this is what I'm calling the high country. And the creek is over this big ridge. Walking up this road, and it's supposed to be closed. People are using it. I could have driven my motorcycle up here, but I needed the exercise. And no one's back here. There's a trailhead over here, which I would have thought people would be hiking on today. My water is hopefully just over this ridge here. And maybe this track follows this draw to a saddle, which was flat, which would give me a perspective into the next valley to see if there's water. If there's no water, which I'm thinking there is, I'll have to go back or go to another location. Yeah, it's been kind of a slow odyssey up this draw because I'm just scanning the bottom, and I'm seeing little shiny shards all over, and I'm putting a few in my pocket. That's the best I can do. And these flowers everywhere are amazing. I can smell sweetness as I go. And we're probably up in bighorn sheep zone or deer, because there's been some well-worn trails up here, and very soon I'll have my answer. Here it is. It's the place for answers. I came up this draw here, found lots of what looked like gold flakes and gold pieces in rocks, which was cool. The creek is there. It's quite a ways down. Maybe I should have edged around the front instead of coming up this draw, because now the draw just continues up the ridge, becomes the ridge, and I need some water down here. It's a little distressing. There's some cattle way up here. I got to get down this slope. It's not far, but it's steep. This is a round bowl that you can see from Bishop, and you can see when it starts to fill up with snow. This is the indicator, and this is a massive sort of glacial plain here. Surprising. These big trees here would make a possible camp zone, but there's a lot of shrubbery over there for big animals to hide in. Over there, I can see a small patch of grass under that tree with sage around it near the creek, and that's going to be my home tonight. Anything else? There's two waterfalls up here from lakes. One on the left and a bigger one on the right, coming from that way. And I can imagine it's just spectacular up there. Getting there would be a challenge, maybe a whole day. And we're just going to go over here. I just came from that big rock up there, and I saw my first marmot in this region over here, which I think they've been hunted out. There's no real human access to this area up here, other than by foot or horseback, no trail or anything. So it's really kind of a secret area. And there's quite a few streams and runnels out here with water in it. And things are still close for animals, big animals. This is all riparian area up here. Beautiful, look at this. Just fantastic. And my guess is this is the main creek here. Here we are. This is the zone I was looking at. Cow zone for sure. There's some fresh shit over here. That's where I was going to set up. This is my zone. These were the trees that I came down to. Ha! And there's a little marmot over there looking at me. These are the trees I came down to, but there's cow shit everywhere back here. Right here. 1, 2, 3. Those are probably maybe last year, but they're dried up. It's the newer ones that attract the flies. And so this is an old campsite. And there's a sort of a half shelter by this boulder. I'm thinking that once we get into the late afternoon, I'll be able to see where the shade is going to go and sun, so I can set up. But there's a real nice breeze here, and I love this view. All right, we've got our campsite. Just milking the shade from these two trees here. And we're going to finish the smoked pork and asparagus. We're going to cook all of it up here in a little bit. And we've got some beer tasting going on today. There's my cooler down here. I'm thinking we better hit the good one first. I've got a rotten cramp in my leg. Okay. Ooh. Now that is how you get a beer cold. In the creek. This one, Modern Times Critical Band. It's a juicy tropical IPA. They're from San Diego also. That is one popping IPA. There's 5 different hops in that beer and 4 malts. That's pretty darn good. It's not strongly carbonated, so it starts like almost watery and hits you with a dankiness, a slight dank, and a fruitiness follows. It's just, that's a good one. I'm glad I brought it. Yes, smoked pork, asparagus. We've got TVP, dehydrated tomatoes in there. This Critical Band IPA has been a relief right now. It's almost gone. I wanted to call it Critical Path because I'm not on the path. and that's a good thing. This beer, Critical Band, has made me feel very good right now. It's darn near empty. It comes highly recommended, and we're sold out at Manor Market, Bishop, California, 93514. I'm Beer Bunyan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's beer tasting time again with Beer Bunyan. And you would hate to see it floated down the creek. This is Founders All Day IPA. Here at the end of the day, this beer has come all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's turned out to be a real hearty stew. Smoked pork, asparagus, TVP, and now rehydrated tomatoes. Yes, those really add a blast of flavor. Okay, let's get some dynamic lighting. Oh, this is great. This is great right here. Okay, here we are. This is Beer Bunyan out in the wild. We're in the John Muir Wilderness right now. Come on in. Oh, you gotta love that sound. This could be an Olympia beer and you would still cherish it. This is Founders All Day IPA, Session IPA. Low alcohol, probably like a 4.5. Anyway, let's see how it tastes. This one is not as strong, not with as much bite as the last one. Of course, it's a Session IPA. And it's a real just mild hoppiness to it. It almost tastes like an Olympia. Yay! This small little area here with these penstemon flowers, and these are a variety that only grow up in high elevation. This little area here with the grass is just kind of tucked into this upper sage desert area. I mean, it's dry over here with sage. So this is like a little microcosm that is being horribly disrupted by these cows that can traipse around up here. There's 6 big piles of cow shit here that pretty much they turn to cement out here. So everything underneath it dies. It might crumble away after a couple years, but what can come back? I mean, it's irritating. And these riparian areas here, right next to the creek, where the cattle crosses, their hooves just dig into this bank, destroying These flowers that you see nowhere else, the columbine. It's pretty disgusting, and this is a wilderness area, and I don't think it's legal. This is the very last edge of habitat going up to these craggy peaks of the eastern Sierra mountain range. And I look around and I see big piles of cow shit every 4 feet. Every 4 feet in this area. This is habitat for somebody else. Not your steak dinner. Give me a break. Okay, it's the next morning, and this has been my breakfast nook for coffee and reading trashy science fiction. We're getting an east wind this morning, and I just had this massive wall of pine tree pollen come through here, which was kind of crazy. We've had the birds last night and this morning doing their thing. It's been really nice. I've had some branch breaking over here a couple times last night and once this morning. And what I've realized is that once you come into an area and sort of temporarily inhabit it, your fear goes away. I was quite nervous here yesterday, and I just took a long time to acclimate myself to this place. Yesterday I ran the cattle out of this meadow down here. It was kind of crazy, but I didn't want them coming up here. And so here it is the next day, and we're going to bail out here in a little while. Once the sun comes full on here, I'll be packed up and ready to go.